Hey everybody, Justin here. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the two ways to live your life. These are the two ways that so far in my experience, in my journey, have become super evident, and most people are either living one way or another. And the two ways I'm talking about is you're either living in reaction to your external world, or you're living independent of your external world. I'm going to get into what that means here in just a second. So, and I should preface this with saying that this is no judgment at all on anyone living in reaction to their external world. For one, because this is how I lived most of my life. Not to say that I'm perfect now, but I've made some pretty big changes. But it's also not really our fault. It's our programming. It's how we've been taught. It's how we've been programmed since we're children, how our parents have been programmed, how our society has been programmed. So when I say it's not really our fault, it's not our fault that that's how we are. But if you want to change, it is your responsibility to change. So I will say that. There's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of information out there. So if you want, you can change. It's just a matter of taking this new perspective and putting it into practice. Okay, with that said, let's talk about the two different ways. So the first way is living in reaction to your external world. What this means is that you rely on the external world, meaning your parents, your friends, society, to tell you how you should feel, what you should believe in, what meaning to give to certain experiences and circumstances, to define who you are, for them to accept who you are instead of the other way around, and constantly seeking external validation and acceptance. For the world to tell you that it's okay, that what you're doing is okay, and for the world to tell you who you are and whether or not you're doing a good job at being that person. Why this is a potential problem is because we depend on the outside world, the external world, for feeling good and for our confidence. So our confidence constantly wavers depending on basically the feedback we're getting from our outside world. You depend on the outside world to tell you how you should feel instead of determining how you should feel inside and not letting the outside world define that for you. You become dependent. That's the biggest problem, is your well-being becomes dependent on the external world, and the external world has to look a certain way for you to feel good. So people who go down this path far enough start trying to manipulate their external world, start trying to manipulate others in order to seek power from the external world so that they can feel good about themselves. Real power comes from cultivating and developing an unwavering confidence in yourself without relying on the external world, without relying on other people to act a certain way for you to feel good about yourself, for you to feel powerful, for you to feel confident. This is a good segue into the second and more empowering way to live your life, and that is to build an unwavering confidence and power in yourself that is independent of the external world. What this means is that you don't react to your circumstances, you don't react to what people do or say. You can respond. It's not to say that you don't do anything and you act like a victim, but you don't rely on the external world to tell you who you are, to define who you are, to define what you believe in, to determine how you feel, to determine the meaning that you give to your experiences, and more importantly, the meaning that you give to your challenges. What this means is you start developing your relationship with yourself, your inner self. And that's what really matters, because what you'll realize is that all the limitations that you feel have been placed on you are really just placed on by yourself. They are the beliefs, mostly unconscious, that we have come up with about who we are, how we should look like, whether or not we should feel good, how the world needs to look like. And so the second option of living your life independent of what's going on in the external world is really a journey within to bring to the light what has been suppressed in you for so long. To start cultivating the relationship with self, to start investigating the negative feelings, the negative thoughts, the negative beliefs that are within you without trying to change the external world. Why this is so powerful is because you cultivate this inner strength that cannot be cultivated any other way by doing this work. It's an inside game. This kind of inner strength, the only way it's built and cultivated is by diving deep into who you are, diving deep into your pain, diving deep into the parts of you that you have suppressed. And when you start building this inner strength, a byproduct of that is an unwavering confidence in who you are because you've accepted yourself fully. And instead of the first way of living your life, which is suppressing parts of you, not showing up authentically as yourself so that society and others can accept you, and so you can accept yourself because you're relying on the external world to accept yourself, diminishing yourself, dimming your light in order to fit in, to expanding and cultivating who you are, who you've suppressed, so much so that you embrace your individualism and your uniqueness further and further, so that instead of wanting to blend in, to fit into society and to be accepted, you stand out as a true leader that you are. You stand out by being fully yourself. And the foundation is that confidence in accepting who you are from the deepest level possible and displaying that part of you to the world and engaging with the world from that place of deep power, of deep confidence that, again, cannot be cultivated any other way. And again, this is not to say that you should not seek external things. You should not seek external success, because you should. But if you seek external success to tell you so that you can prove to yourself how you should feel and who you are and accept yourself, that's going about it backwards. You need to determine those things first by diving deep in within. And once you've done that, or while you're doing that, you extend this part of you out into the world on display, and that's where you act from. That's how you cultivate your own power. That's how you cultivate unwavering confidence. That's how you empower yourself without relying on the external world, without relying on circumstances to go a certain way, without being a victim to your challenges. What happens when you start living like this, living consciously in your power, in your true power, is that the external world starts changing. Even though you're doing all this work inside of yourself, you're releasing limiting beliefs, you're releasing fears and old programmings and old paradigms and old ways of acting and being, changing who you are, not the surface level stuff, but who you actually are from deep within. The external world becomes a mirror to that. The external world is just a mirror of who you are being inside. And so the beauty of all this is once you start changing who you are within, the external world starts presenting that for you like a mirror, starts reflecting that. And you'll notice different synchronicities happening. You'll notice different opportunities. You'll notice new experiences and circumstances presenting itself in ways that it could have not presented itself before, because of who you were and the beliefs you held about yourself, and the constant need to look for validation outside of yourself. If this resonated with you and you like the kinds of things that I'm teaching and talking about, then give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, because I plan on talking more and more about the subject in depth, different techniques for starting to cultivate that power from within, that unwavering confidence that's independent of the external world. Thank you so much for watching. Have a really good day, and I'll see you in the next video.